Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Thriving Metabolism, where we discuss everything that impacts your hormones and metabolism so that you can take control, repair the damage, and lose weight consistently without making yourself miserable in the process. Most weight loss strategies and diets actually do harm to your metabolism, resulting in further weight gain down the road, and it can be particularly challenging for women over 40 due to hormonal and metabolic changes. So it's my mission to empower you so that you and your metabolism thrives and you never have to go through diet misery again. I'm Louise Digby, registered nutritional therapist, weight loss expert, and founder of the Nourish Method to Lasting Fat Loss. Now, as you know, my team and I specialise in helping women to lose weight by balancing their hormones and rebuilding their metabolisms. And we focus on hormones and metabolism for very good reason, which is that when you address the root cause of the stubborn weight and weight gain, not only can you lose weight without having to go to the extreme of really low calorie diets or cutting out entire food groups, but the weight stays off in the long term. And while you're working towards your goals, you'll also get healthier at the same time. And that might sound obvious that you're getting healthier at the same time, but actually, when you do standard diets, the ones that are focused on restriction, you end up in many cases depleted of nutrients and with metabolic damage, and often regaining the weight and ending up far more unhealthy than you would have been if you didn't go on a diet in the first place. There has been research to show that people who yo-yo diet are less healthy than people that never even tried to lose the weight in the first place. Dieting is not good for us. So this is part of the reason why we like to take a more health-focused approach to weight loss. But also another reason is because there's a particular section of the population who really do not see results from your standard approaches. Women over the age of 35 struggle the most, and the ones that are closer to menopause are the ones that are getting the worst results. And actually, men generally lose weight pretty easily in comparison at any age. And I think this is an experience that many of the women that I've talked to have had. You know, they find that they might do a diet and they cut back a little bit with their partner, and their partner loses like a stone in a couple of weeks, and then they themselves lose maybe a pound if they're lucky, and their partner was doing it half-heartedly, but they were doing it really dedicatedly. And it kind of leaves you feeling like your body's broken, doesn't it? And for these women, their body is changing or has changed in a way that means that the hormones are not behaving as they used to. And you're also losing muscle, which means that your metabolism is decreasing. And when you cut calories or you cut portion sizes or you cut food groups, it doesn't heal metabolic damage. It doesn't balance the hormones. So that's why we specialize in this area. Now, we didn't just randomly end up focusing on this area. In fact, when I first qualified back in 2012, I did what every nutritional therapist does and should do, which is start off working with everyone and anyone with whatever condition they might have, from eczema to IBS to depression, thyroid problems, Lyme's disease, you name it, I saw people with it. And then what I noticed was that everyone that came to me, pretty much, whatever they came to me for, whether it was IBS or depression or whatever, they all had this secondary goal of losing weight. And then over the course of working with them, what would become apparent was that in many cases, the weight loss was actually the thing they cared about the most. And they were aware that losing weight would probably help with their other issues as well. So that's really led me to develop more knowledge on weight loss, but we had mixed results. Some people would lose weight without even trying, whereas others would be ultra dedicated to losing weight and it just wouldn't come off. And the way that I had been taught to help people to lose weight was to give them guidance on portion control and give them tips on how to prepare quick dinners, how to suppress your appetite, and all stuff that ultimately focused on reducing the amount of food. So no real difference to your standard diets, albeit more nutritious. So I was helping a significant proportion of these people, but we weren't really getting to the root of the issues. And that's why I was finding that a few months later, people were coming back having regained some of the weight, and some of them are just not making progress at all. So this really led to me doing a lot of research and training to try and understand why this was and what it was that was making people not lose weight despite seemingly doing all the right things. Now, what I discovered was that there's a hell of a lot more impacting your weight than simply how many calories you eat or burn. The overall calorie intake is actually a really small piece of quite a large puzzle. And other puzzle pieces include things like gut bacteria, nutrient absorption, deficiencies, toxic load, detoxification, inflammation, thyroid function, sleep, stress, blood sugars, insulin resistance, intolerances, genetics, and much more. And it really is a puzzle because every woman we work with is unique. Every woman has a different health history, different genetics, different life stages, different lifestyles, different preferences and priorities, all resulting in a unique collection of imbalances and needs. And what this means is that while we could have 10 women all struggling with the same problem of stubborn weight, they might all have different underlying causes and therefore require different interventions to really address those imbalances so that they can lose weight. This is why a diet may work for your friend, but not for you, because there really is no one-size-fits-all solution. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you can, working with a registered nutritional therapist that specialises in women's weight loss can really take out the guesswork for you and help you find the shortest and most direct route to achieving your goals. It also means that if you're trying to lose weight or you're taking a supplement or whatever the healthy habit is that you're trying to implement, if it doesn't feel good to you, if it feels like it's not agreeing with you, you need to listen to what your body's telling you. Just because it worked for someone else or because it worked for hundreds of people who left 5-star reviews on their website, it doesn't mean that it's going to be right for you. You need to give things time to work, of course. And, most things, be it dietary change or lifestyle change or a supplement, it will take time to work. But if it doesn't feel good to you, you need to pay attention to that, because your biochemistry is unique. Next, it's time for my favorite fact from the past week, and it is that green tea downregulates fat cell production. So let's dig into this a little bit. This is from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, and the study has just been published. And what they found is that green tea reduces the level of inflammatory and oxidative stress biomarkers produced as the result of a high saturated fat meal, and may even have a favorable effect on adipogenesis, which is the creation of adipocytes or fat cells. Now, the study looked specifically at obese women, and they did use high-dose green tea extract. It was 738 milligrams, and they took the supplement at night, fasted for 10 hours, and then the next day was when they saw the benefits. So what this all means is that taking a green tea extract supplement could be a helpful addition to supporting weight loss, either taken regularly or just when having something particularly high in saturated fat. It's probably a good idea to drink green tea regularly as well, as it may help reduce inflammation, which is going to support your hormones and a healthy metabolism. Okay, so now it's time to delve into a reader's letter. Now, given that I'm recording this episode before I've released the first one, I still don't have any letters. So instead, I've taken a question from a new client this week, and here is what she's asked. Let me just load it up in front of me. She said, I'm seeing loads of hormone supplements on Instagram and Facebook at the moment. Some of them are claiming to get rid of hot flushes, and others are claiming to get rid of menopausal belly. Do these really work? And is this something that I should be taking? So I bet most of you are seeing these ads online. I get them too, so I know exactly what she's talking about. And this is a really great question. Now, when we think about whether we want to add in a new supplement, we need to think about a few things. Firstly, what's the quality of the ingredients? Where have they come from? Next, what's the strength of the active ingredients? Is it strong enough to have a therapeutic effect? What's the form of the ingredients? For example, magnesium comes in oxide, citrate, taurate, threonate, glycinate, various others, and they all have different actions in the body. So the form we want will depend on what we want to achieve. Next, what's the form of the supplement? Capsules, tablets, powders, and is it the best way to take it? And is it safe to take with your medications or your health conditions? So that's a lot to think about. And if you're working with a nutritional therapist, then ask them before you start taking it. I can't tell you how frustrating it is when we've spent hours putting together a personalized plan for someone, carefully selecting supplements that are going to perfectly complement the food and lifestyle changes that person's making, only for them to find and add in a completely unsuitable supplement without telling us. So don't worry about bothering your practitioner with questions. If it was me, I would much prefer you asked me about it rather than adding it in without asking because you didn't want to take up my time. If you're not working with a practitioner, then you're going to need to do some of the legwork yourself. So look at the company. What safety certificates does the company have to show that they're using quality ingredients? A good example of this is fish oil. A while back, a study found that all of the fish oils on the shelf of a particular shop had all gone rancid before their expiry date, before they'd even been sold. Disgusting, right? Rancid oil is so bad for us. We so do not want to risk taking this. The oil needs to be stable, and that usually means added vitamin E to stop the fish oil from going rancid. Plus, you want to ensure that the product has been purity tested. You also want to ensure that what you're taking is strong enough to have the desired effect. A good example here is coenzyme Q10. There are many supplements that contain coenzyme Q10, and it's an incredible ingredient. It's proven to support heart health, brain health, energy, much more. However, the research that shows these benefits are looking at dosages of around 200 milligrams or more, and most supplements only contain 10 to 30 milligrams, nowhere near the level that was studied. And most importantly, you need to ensure that the supplement is safe to take with your medications. As a general rule, if you are taking medication, you should check with your doctor, pharmacist, or nutritionist before adding in a new supplement. This is particularly the case if the supplement contains any herbs. While herbs are natural, they can be really powerful, and many interact with common drugs. These hormone supplements often contain a lot of herbs, and if you're taking hormonal birth control, HRT, thyroid medications, or antidepressants, which many women considering these supplements are, interactions are quite likely. What this means is the herb can change the way the drug is metabolized, which results in it either being broken down and eliminated too quickly, meaning you essentially get a lower dose of the drug, or the herb can block the detoxification of the drug, meaning you get a higher dose of it. If you're not taking any medications and you feel happy that the company is legit and they're showing evidence of good quality and purity checked ingredients, then by all means, give it a go. Just be aware that It can take several weeks before you might feel a difference. So if you're going to try it, you need to give it a few months before you decide whether it's working for you. And again, if it makes you feel worse, or if it feels like it isn't agreeing with you, then you need to listen to that. And going back to the original question, do these supplements really work? Well, as with anything like this, it really depends on what imbalances you have and what your body needs. The root causes of hot flushes and menopausal belly, they're going to be different for each woman based on their own biochemistry and lifestyle factors. So whether the supplement will work or not is difficult to say. We certainly use nutrients and herbs to support hormones. However, it's something that we do to complement a targeted nutrition intervention. And there's a reason why supplement packaging says not an alternative to a healthy lifestyle. And it's because these supplements can be pretty ineffective on their own, because unless it's a clear-cut case of all your problems are being caused by a single vitamin deficiency, then a supplement is unlikely to get to the root of the issue. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to talk about anything that I've discussed in this episode, you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram by searching @LouiseDigby Nutrition. Or you can email me with your question to be answered on the podcast by emailing louise@louisedigbynutrition.com. If you're enjoying this podcast, please head to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, click follow and leave a review. Doing so will massively help. Following helps more people to discover the podcast. Thanks again, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.